Welcome to the Year 9 Options information presentation. Usually, I'd be inviting all Year 9 pupils and their parents and carers into school to receive this presentation face to face and have the opportunity to ask questions. Unfortunately, this year, due to the current climate, it isn't possible to have everybody in school, and therefore we've moved this presentation online. Throughout the presentation, I invite you to pause the video to have a discussion about which subjects are the most appropriate choices for you to make. Please pause the video to read through this slide. Some points to highlight from this slide, and something I always must stress when selecting Year 9 options, is for pupils to not select a subject based on the subject choices of their friends. It is so important that this choice is your choice. This choice will impact your future, will decide what A-levels you can go on to study, or BTEC courses or apprenticeships that are open to you. It will decide what industry you go into in the future. So it's really important that you think for yourself. Make those decisions, but also listen to the people around you. There'll be lots of people able to offer you very secure guidance and support. So it's important to ask the questions and also listen to those responses. But please do not select subjects based on the option choices of your friends. There are different ways that Stratford School Academy will be helping you through this process. One way is that you will all be assigned an academy leader. This leader will meet with you on Microsoft Teams to go through an options choice meeting. In that meeting, we will listen to you, listen to your parents and carers, but also take into account both historic and current data. We'll be looking at your most recent reading age, your Key Stage 2 scores, so these are the scores that you received at the end of primary school, the end of Year 6, and also your current teacher data, which will be in the form of a predicted grade. Your teachers have assigned you a grade that they feel would represent, if you carried on working the way you're working now, the grade that you would get at the end of Year 11. It's important to note that we want everybody to do the most appropriate courses for them. So we will be taking into account that recent attainment data. Some of the courses will require specific grades. For example, to take separate science, we will be looking at your science grade and making sure you meet the minimum expectation. To complete computer science, we'll be looking at your maths GCSE predicted grade and making sure you meet the minimal requirement. It's also important that you give yourself a manageable workload. You should be taking a broad range of subjects and making sure that the assessment plan and formation of these subjects all work together to give you a manageable workload. Lastly, it's important to note that not every combination will be possible. We submit the option choices into our computer system, which generates the timetables. In some cases, certain selections of subjects will not be possible and will not work with the timetable. In this case, the Academy leader will have a follow-up meeting with you where we will look again at the most appropriate choices that work with the school's curriculum. If we think about what the top 6 forms in our borough look for, and in this case I'm looking at London Academy of Excellence and also Brampton Manor Academy 6th form, both of these 6 forms look for a broad range of subjects. They want pupils to have done a range of GCSEs or BTECs that show a broad understanding and broad knowledge. They also look for a high attaining grade in the subject that you are looking to do at A-level. You need to make sure that your choices match what you want to be doing in the future. So, the options process. As you can see on the screen now, the green subjects, this is our core curriculum. These are the subjects that everybody will study throughout Year 10 and Year 11 and sit a GCSE in, with the exception of physical education, which is a core PE class. Please note that statistics, this will also be part of the core curriculum for those in Set 1 for maths. Now, the options. We've broken down the options into grey subjects, blue subjects, and an orange subject. Every pupil must select at least one grey subject. So this is a choice between one of those 5 subjects that are there: separate science, history, geography, French, or computer science. That is your first option choice. Everybody must select at least one grey subject. Then, the rest of your curriculum will be made up of 2 more subjects, which can be either grey or blue. So, if you wish, you could select 1 grey subject and 2 blue subjects, or you could select 2 grey subjects and 1 blue subject, or you could select 3 grey subjects. The orange subject is only for pupils that have been approached by our English as an additional language team. This is because there are very strict entry requirements onto this course and you need to meet a certain criteria. So anybody approached by the English as an additional language team is eligible to take the IGCSE as English as an additional language as one of their option choices. At the end of Year 11, all pupils are given an Attainment 8 score. In essence, this is an average of a student's performance, an average of the 8 best results that they get. However, there are specific buckets for the subjects to fall into, and only certain subjects can go into each of the buckets. I'm now going to explain each of the buckets to explain which subjects can go into each bucket in order to produce an Attainment 8 score. Bucket 1 is the English and Maths bucket. All pupils will do 2 GCSEs in English, English Literature and English Language, and complete 1 GCSE in Maths. The Maths grade will go into Bucket 1, and then the best of either English Literature or English Language will also go into Bucket 1. Both of these subjects are double weighted. Therefore, if you get a 5 in Maths, you actually get 2 5s in Maths when working up your Attainment 8 score. With English Literature and English Language, we use the highest of your 2 grades to go in bucket number 1. So bucket number 1 has 2 slots, it contains Maths and your highest out of English Literature, English Language, and they are double weighted. Bucket number 2 is the EBAC bucket. So this bucket can only take subjects which are the EBAC subjects, which are listed on the screen now. There are 3 slots in bucket 2, each needing to be filled with 1 grade from each of those subjects. If a pupil takes separate science, they could end up using all 3 of those grades in bucket number 2, and that be bucket 2 filled. They could also take separate science and history and end up using just 2 of their separate science grades and then their history grade. It's your best 3 grades from a combination of those subjects that are displayed on the screen now. If a pupil doesn't end up with 3 grades from those subjects, that slot in the bucket will be assigned a 0, which will then bring down their average grade, bringing down their 8. Therefore, it is extremely important that when pupils are making their option choices, every bucket is filled. This is why we have grade subject that every pupil must take at least 1 grade subject. Finally, bucket 3 is the open bucket. This is for all other GCSEs that have not been counted so far in either bucket 1 or bucket 2. This includes the English that wasn't used in bucket 1 and any other EBAC subjects not used in bucket 2, alongside the blue option choices. This bucket has 3 slots and again will contain the highest of the unused subjects. If there are not 3 grades to be put into bucket 3, a 0 will be assigned whenever there is a missing grade. I'm going to run through some examples. So this person, for choice number 1, has selected separate science. For choice number 2, they've chosen another grade subject, which is history. And for choice number 3, they've chosen a blue subject, which is art. So you can see they do the core curriculum, plus then they do separate science, history, and art. This is their report card. This is how they did at the end of Year 11 in their GCSE results. So bucket 1, we look for the Maths grade, which this person has got a 6. And then we look for the highest out of English Literature or English Language. You can see on the report card the person has got a 5 in English Language and a 6 in English Literature, and therefore we're going to take the 6. As I said, for bucket 1, these are double weighted, so we times each of these by 2. So bucket 1 ends up with a score of 24. We move to bucket 2, the EBAC bucket. Now, this person took separate science, so we can see that by them getting a result in physics, chemistry, and biology. And they have also taken history as well, which can also go into that EBAC bucket. So we look for the 3 highest grades from the EBAC subjects, which would be a grade 7 in chemistry, a grade 6 in biology, and then a grade 6 in history. We add those together, which makes 19, and we put that into bucket 2. We now come to bucket 3, which contains the 3 unused subjects which have the highest grades. We can see that art, this pupil received a grade 7, RE, the pupil received a grade 7, and then English Language, which was unused in bucket 1 because we used English Literature, received a grade 5. Therefore, 5 plus 7 plus 7 is 19, which goes into bucket 3. So we now have bucket 1 with a score of 24, bucket 2 with a score of 19, and bucket 3 with a score of 19. Each of the buckets are then added together. In this case, that makes 62, and are divided by 10 to give an Attainment 8 score. In this case, the child received an Attainment 8 score of 6.2. going to give a second example now. So this person will be doing the core curriculum. The grey subject they chose is geography. For their second subject, they chose a second grey subject, which is French. And for their third subject choice, they chose design and technology. There's the report card. And to start with, we take the maths grade. This child received a grade 8. We then take the highest of the English language or the English literature grade. And in this case, that is English language with also an 8. These are double weighted. So we have 8 times 2 is 16, 8 times 2 is 16. We add those together and put them in bucket 1, which is a total for bucket 1 of 32. For bucket 2, we then take the 3 high scoring EBAC subjects. You can see that this child did not take separate science and instead has 2 grades for science, which are the combined science grades. The highest of the EBAC subjects was the French, which was a grade 8, then geography at a grade 7, and then we fill the last remaining slot with one of the sciences, which is a grade 6. So we then have 6 plus 7 plus 8, which equals 21, and gives us a total of 21 for bucket 2. Now we come to bucket 3, which is the 3 remaining grades that have not been used, which are the highest. Therefore, we have the English literature grade, because we used English language in bucket 1, English literature being grade 7. We then use the other combined science grade, which was a grade 6. And finally, we use the RE grade, which was a grade 7. 7 plus 7 plus 6 is 20, and that gives us our total for bucket 3. Now, we add those totals together to give us a grand total of 73. We divide by 10, and that gives this child an attainment 8 score of 7.3. As you can see, to get an attainment 8 score, that will stand you in a really good position to get into the top 6 forms, colleges, or to gain the top apprenticeships. You need to make sure you have both a broad range of subjects, but also all of your subjects are as high as they possibly can be when you get to that final grade. 5 golden rules for selecting your options. Firstly, play to your strengths. Think about what you are good at. Think about something that you have been trying hard for year 7, year 8 and year 9 and have honed that skill. Maybe that's something to move in towards your future with. Pick a passion. You're the person that is going to be studying this for the next 2 years. So pick something that you are interested in and are passionate about. Look to your future. The key word there is your. It's your future. Focus on what you want to do when you leave Stratford School Academy. Do you want to do an apprenticeship? Do you want to go on to a college or a sixth form? Do you eventually want to go to university? Is there a particular industry you are looking to create a career within? Ask yourself these questions and then look for which GCSE courses you need to be taking to get yourself there. Don't follow the crowd. Please, please, please do not pick a subject based on your friends' option choices. Like I said, it is likely you won't be in the same class as them anyway, and you are not trying to fulfill their future aspirations. Think about what you want and follow your interests and your ideas into your future. Finally, make the most of good advice. This is advice of the people that have been there and done it, so older brothers and sisters or cousins, or listen to the professionals around you like your teachers or your tutors. Make sure you listen to your parents and carers as well. All of this advice will be good advice. Take it on board and listen. Everybody that is giving you advice is only doing it for your benefit. That brings us to the Year 9 options timeline. Today is Thursday, 14th of January, and this is the virtual options information presentation. By the end of tomorrow, Friday, 15th of January, you should have received the Key Stage 4 prospectus delivered by post. If at the end of the day on Friday you have not received this, please get in touch using the Contact Us section of the website to report you have not received the Key Stage 4 prospectus. Throughout this week and next week, GCSE and BTEC experience sessions are being held in the option-based subjects. These are either pre-recorded lessons or live lessons that are being shared on Microsoft Teams. Teachers will be giving more information about their subject as a GCSE or BTEC to the pupils. Academy Leader meetings will start on Monday the 25th of January and run throughout those 2 weeks. Parents and carers will be contacted by the Academy Leader to arrange a suitable time to meet to discuss the options process and the option choices of the student. Any follow-up meetings that need to take place will take place from Monday the 22nd of February. For now, please make sure you are using the Key Stage 4 prospectus, going back through this video and having the discussion about the next steps for your child.